Prabhupada asked them to be carried out. So from our hearts, when we offer flowers, we can remember that by the blessings of a Vaishnav, who's either present before us or who has departed and is with us in Vani and spirit, we can derive the greatest benefit. So again, for our own purification, we'll remember Maharaj, we'll glorify him, and we'll offer these flowers as an offering of gratitude from our hearts. Yeah. I'll take him near the end. Please repeat after I do each line. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katahmayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvatutam Rijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Ittinamine Prabhupadasya Sahityam Ya Prakashya Vatiryacha Pracharam Kritavam Sadhu Bhagavat Padayate Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Shri Varshavana Videvi Daitaya Kripadaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shimurtai Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Vadambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sakchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Virvava Bomestvam Nirdesa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvite Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Mandamatirgati Matsarva Swapadam Bojao Radha Madana Mohanao Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadhrumada Srimad Ratnagara Sinhasanastao Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Deva Krishna Libhi Sevyamanu Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vatatatasthitaha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami iti namine Prabhupadasya sahityam ya prakashya vichiryacha pacharam kritavan sadhu Bhagavat padayate namaha Esha Pushpanjali Srila Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Say the pranam prayer together, please. We're going to do it 2 more times. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Niti Namane Prabhupadasya Sahityam Ya Prakashya Vichiryacha Pracharam Kritavam Sadhu Bhagavat Padayate Namaha Esha Pushpanjali Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. One last time. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Tinamine Prabhupadasya Sahitam Ya Prakashya Vitiryacha Acharam Kritavan Sadhu Bhagavat Padayate Namaha Esha Pushpanjali Swaha. Really quick, sweep the floor. And now we're going to regroup for the Guru Puja. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. I think it's in the room. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Shadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paiche Keba. Shariya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keva. Shariya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keva. Shariya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keva. Hare Krishna. Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Sri Guru Charana Padma Shivalabha Gati Sabha. little help. Come on. Everyone together. Harinam Sankirtan ki, Shri Harinam Mahamantra ki, Shri Harinam Prabhu ki, Shri Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki, Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai, jai Om Vishnu Bhatam Hamsa Privajika Jashto Tarastasi Shiman, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, jai Om Vishnu Bhatam Hamsa Privajika Jashto Tarastasi Shiman, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavi ki jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem Zikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki jai, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki jai, Chandra Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Sankirta Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj Tirubha Maha Mahotsav ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Now we'll switch perspectives. Okay. Everyone can move to this side of the room, and we'll put some asanas out for everyone. Y'all's going to have to move up because it's a slightly bigger than the usual youth jam. Thank you. Please put up the song we sing for separation from the devotees. Yene lo premadana.
sing? They want you to sing, I'm sure.
They'll bring him a little stand. What? Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
I'll read it, and then you say. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Do you have enough room? Because there's more space forward, I would suggest you try another 7.2 inches so we don't have to do it again. That was like 0 point nothing. Please put up the translation. Can you start the tune?
Yeah.
And then I'll...
What key are you singing? Okay. No, we're usually singing C. Where is she? Yeah. Yep.
He who brought the treasure of divine love and who is filled with compassion and mercy. Where has such a personality as Srinivas Acharya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta, and where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against the rock and enter into fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all these devotees, in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps.
Oh, okay. Je anilo premadhan karuna prachu Yena nilo prema dhana karuna prachu হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য
Shava Sangita Sange Jai Kaila Bila Sheshangana Paya Chande Narottamudha Sheshangana Paya Chande Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Jaya Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Gurudev
You can play that film that you have. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I casually asked one of my friends, is there any Hindu temple in Montreal? So I went to the Montreal temple and I took part in the Sunday program. And in May '68, I received a letter. Our Swamiji is coming to Montreal on June 4, '68. Please come and meet him. The first assignment the temple president gave me was to clean Prabhupada's apartment. So I had the privilege of meeting Prabhupada on June 1st, 1968. I had almost no exposure to sadhus in India. I could see that Prabhupada was a genuine saint. Before I came, there was almost no book production in India. The Prabhupada told me to start the book production. I had arranged a very big book display of Prabhupada's books in a very big book house. But after 1 month, not many books were sold. So I went to Prabhupada to give him a report. And Prabhupada said, my books are sold because of the enthusiasm of my disciples. And in a store, nobody's enthusiastic. That's why. So we have seen that when devotees are enthusiastic, they achieve outstanding results. Went to Vajpayee. And when I came back and gave Prabhupada the report, Prabhupada said, one day this man will become more important. He'll hold a very important position. And a few years later, he became the Prime Minister of India.
गुरु महाराज के स्वास्थ्य को लेकर हम लोग विचारशील हैं, क्योंकि बढ़ती उम्र के साथ स्वाभाविक मांसपेशियों का कमज़ोर, शरीर का थोड़ा झुकाव और आवाज़ का थोड़ा नरम होना।
तो उनके पिता ने प्रहलाद को एक स्कूल में डाला था।
हमने बहुत बार गुरु महाराज से रिक्वेस्ट किया कि गुरु महाराज कार्य प्रणाली थोड़ा स्लो होना चाहिए, लेकिन गुरु महाराज का हमेशा से एक ही उत्तर रहा कि मैं प्रभुपाद का सोल्जर हूँ, मैंने प्रभुपाद से ऐसे ही सीखा है और मैं हमेशा ऐसे ही करता रहूँगा।
Prabhupada was always concerned about preaching, and even when he wasn't physically well, he did not stop his preaching. And as we know, in Vrindavan, when he wasn't physically well, he had somebody helping him sit down. He was virtually whispering the purports.
There was good appreciation.
So we should also cultivate a similar mood. Prabhupada is always right. We should know that.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Namashrishtam manamapi shachiputram atra surupam Sri Rupam tasyagrajam uruparim maturim goshtavatim Radha kundam girivaramaho radhika madhavasha Bhakto yasya patita kripaya shirum tasmi He Guru Gyada Idabando Swamadadata Ganaika Sindhu Vrindavana Sita Hitavatara Sigarada Vinayakachara He Dinabando Karanaika Sindhu Guru Prasadam Mandalude Lakshaparade Bahupaparade Tatpada Padme Sumatishta Krishna Daigo Payantya Pachatim Kavayastavesha Ramayushapi Kridim Ritam Udasmaranta Yontar Bahistadukritam Ashubhan Vitumram Acharya Chaitya Vapushascha Kritamati Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're here tonight to get some solace. Ramananda Rai said in the interview he had with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by the way, if you have a cell phone, please turn it on, because if your ringer goes off, you have to purchase a set of Srimad Bhagavatams. Sundarananda Prabhu will enforce it. Okay? Thank you. No exceptions. Ramananda Rai, when asked by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu what is the greatest suffering in this world, he said, I know of no other suffering except separation from the Vaishnava. And getting to know how that feels is inevitable when we're attached. We live in communities, and it's natural for us to become attached to one another. In any community, people become attached to one another. But it's perfection of life to become attached to a Vaishnava. And then when the Vaishnava leaves, as Prabhu was saying during his class, which is inevitable, I think you said it twice, then we feel that experience of the disappearance of the Vaishnava. It is said by our previous acharya, the acharyas, that the tirobhava, or the disappearance of the guru, then gives the disciples a chance to enact what the guru has taught. There's a way that when our guru leaves, we're not bereft at all. As Prabhupada mentioned, he was never separated from his spiritual master. He always felt connection. And he says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the first chapter, 35th verse, in the second to last chapter, that in the absence of the spiritual master, if one can't see the spiritual master, when tirobhav takes place, then the order of the spiritual master becomes the life and soul of the disciple. And the devotees who are attached to the guru are very fortunate in that way, because then they become even more desirous of serving in the way that the preceptor has shown. So for all the disciples of Srila Gopala Krishna Maharaj, you have such a perfect example. I was talking to various godbrothers today, because there's a way in which godbrothers become very attached to one another. And several godbrothers that I spoke to today were saying that, yes, he was the perfect example. My cherished image of him is at every Mangalartik, anywhere he was, he'd always be there on the altar. And I thought of that because, there's many other ways I can think of his example, and the way that he carefully followed Prabhupada's instructions and was a leader for the world. But the image of him doing artik during Mangal time, during the Brahma Muhurta, so consistently is what stuck in my mind, and when I was thinking about him this morning, as an emblem of his steadiness in following Srila Prabhupada. In the early days of Krishna consciousness, there were not many householders, and there were fewer Indians and almost no Indian householders. And he was one of the first. In fact, the only, what I can recall, as I joined here in America, everyone was an American. And then we heard about Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Of course, he was a householder at the time, and he was working. That was also rare, because the model in America was that everyone would just join the ashram. And in fact, if somebody didn't live in the ashram, devotees would likely look at him or her askance, as if like, what happened to you? And it was a revelation to everyone. And Prabhupada told Gopal Krishna Maharaj to keep working. Of course, he told Jayananda that too. Jayananda was driving a cab, and the temple needed money. But Prabhupada also told Gopal Krishna Maharaj to keep his job. He worked in a corporate job, as you saw in the movie. And one of my senior godbrothers once told me that when the senior godbrother I'm talking about had gone to India to be with Prabhupada, he was with Prabhupada, but Prabhupada barely noticed him until he did some service. He had gone to South India and done some service, got in the newspaper with a few other devotees for preaching in Coimbatore. And then when he came back, he noticed that Prabhupada was talking to him and actually mentioning him by name. And one of my godbrothers was telling me about how Gopal Krishna Maharaj, during a difficult time in one of our temples, had been instrumental in solving the problem. This was when he was still working in as a householder. And Prabhupada had promoted him to the level of GBC after that. And some people were wondering, well, how can he be a GBC as a householder? And it's also nice to see the example, when I say a perfect example, of one of Prabhupada's disciples who's been through various ashrams, has, been a grihasta, been in a corporate job, and then became a renunciate. And I was writing a press release for the BBT today. It's being edited now, because he was a member of the BBT since the very beginning, practically. And as Maharaj was saying in the video, India was slow to get going in book distribution. In fact, the main publisher of books was always in Los Angeles. And then some books, they would be shipped even to India. And there weren't many books in India. There wasn't much book distribution. But he revolutionized it. He was the one who started putting all the pieces together and then starting the publication of Prabhupada's books in Indian languages, and the explosion took place. But as we've always known, he's been a champion of book distribution from the very beginning. That's one of the reasons that I had so much attachment to him, and some extra connection was because he was so dedicated to book distribution. A few of the ways in which I remember him, and having been personally involved in having conversations with him. Once in the early days of ISV, there was a kind of shocking incident that took place with a splinter group, and it disturbed me quite a bit. I couldn't sleep for weeks, actually. And I remember going to Vrindavan for my annual retreat. And when I was there, I was trying to get some shelter from godbrothers. And I saw Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He was always kind enough to ask me how things were going. So we were standing in front of the MVT office. And when he saw that I was really distressed, he reached out and grabbed my hand. He just held it. And I told him all my problems. And just the fact that he held my hand and he listened to me. He didn't have to tell me how to fix it. But at the end, he just said, "It's an ungrateful world." And then we had a charming rasa that when I was at Govardhan, he'd always bring his yatra on Govardhan Parikrama at some point, and he'd come in to see us at Govardhan Hill. Keshavarti Maharaj was there, and he was close with Keshavarti Maharaj. So with his minions, he'd always have hundreds, if not thousands, of devotees. And, he was the general, and he'd be there in front. And with just so much energy, he's out there on the parikram with thousands of devotees. But they'd always circle around and come in to see us. And it was the time of morning when Maharaj was doing his puja, I was in my room doing mine, and he'd always come by my room, knock on the door, and come in. That was his nature, and to encourage, to come in and encourage. And then we had some specific talks about the Bhadra Purnima. As for the first couple of years, he was nervous about whether it was going to affect the end of the year marathon, which he had really built up in India. And we kind of had a constant back and forth about that. About my theory was that rising tide lifts all boats, and it was going to be okay. And it was sweet to have that personal connection. So I can say that staying in Krishna consciousness for years, the most relishable of all is association with one's God brothers and God sisters, and especially those who have stayed the course and been through all the eras, and one can then have a relatable conversation. If you talk about certain eras, then everyone gets it because they were there and they went through the same thing. So Prabhupada attracted really great souls, and Gopal Krishna Maharaj had a perfect record in all phases of his devotional service. It was exemplary, and a perfect passing also, in that Narayanak Paraksarvena Kutaschana Bhibyati Swarga Pavarga Narakeshu Apitulyartha Darshina. He followed Prabhupada so much that, of course, the verse I just quoted means a Vaishnav is not concerned with the place where he or she is stationed. Guru could say, you could go to hell and preach. And the devotee's like, yes, Guru Maharaj. You could go to heaven and preach. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Either way, it's Tulya. It's equal to that person. And he was in that mood of preaching Prabhupada. So it's a day everyone in ISKCON will remember. And the rare great souls that came and served Prabhupada throughout their whole lives and significantly expanded the movement, will be greatly missed. I'm sort of rambling. I'm thinking about different ways that I remember him, but I just also remember being aware of the fact that he was a liberated soul in the ways that he pushed on even when he was ill. He never acknowledged really that he was ill. He didn't, even though it was obvious, it wasn't a topic. He'd just go on, and I remember being in GBC meetings in Mayapur, and he'd be there. And you could barely hear him, and it looks like he was just barely, his body was emaciated in a lot of ways, but there he was sitting in a meeting dutifully. And the last time I gave a talk there, it was about book distribution, because that's what I do every year for the GBC. And then I just remember how enthusiastic he was about the topic. You'd think when you're in that physical condition, you're so depleted that first of all, who would show up to the meeting anyway? You have a free pass if you'd like to not do that, but he'd be there. but then the next thing was, when I'd interact with the group, as I usually do, and he'd raise his hand. He'd have something really enthusiastic to say about book distribution. And I just found it so endearing that he would be there in that state, as if it's the same as when he was young or old or sick. He didn't care. He just wanted to serve, and he served with such heart. And the last encounter I had with him was just in Mayapur recently. That was in Mayapur also, but he was still going for morning walks. And I would take a similar route, but going the opposite direction. So I saw him with his group of brahmacharis coming around the corner, as he always did that. And I offered obeisances from a distance, hoping that he wouldn't see me, because I remember time before when I offered obeisance, then he got down, and I was like, please, Maharaj, don't. Actually, I have a video of that. I was doing an initiation ceremony in Govardhan, and he snuck up on me with all this devotee. I have that video. And I turned around, it was him. So this time I tried from a distance to offer obeisances, and then as soon as I got up close, he tried to get down to offer obeisances. Several times he tried, and then he looked at me with a smile, and he says, I can't do it. And it was just overwhelming to have such a loving exchange with him. So there's some solace, because he left us with so much to think about how to dedicate to Prabhupada. The last thing I'll say before I hand it over to Mukunda Dato Prabhu and everybody else is what I resonated with in the movie, and which I think, to me, epitomizes Maharaj's mood more than anything, and why he was so successful. He said with a wry smile at the end, Prabhupada's always right. And that was Maharaj. And he just do the thing that Prabhupada said, and then it would turn out all right. And it was almost like magic, because you think, how's he doing it? How's he doing all this stuff? Because sometimes when he'd play kartals, he had like a thing. He wasn't like some fancy kartal player. He played in a certain way and sang in a certain way. And then it's almost like magic, temples springing up, devotees, huge book distribution and everything. And his power was all from Prabhupada's always right. And somebody who has that dedication to Guru, as he did, is unlimitedly successful, as he was. Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Meditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyaivacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. I don't know where to begin, and I probably won't want to end, but there's so many things that we can say about Gopal Krishna Maharaj. But one thing that I would like to say first and foremost is that I can't think of any other way to glorify a devotee except to say that he was a perfect disciple of his spiritual master. And if anybody deserves that credit in our recent history, it is Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So first of all, let us all offer our humble obeisances at his lotus feet. The first thing I remember that really struck me about him is that maybe it was the 1976 Vyas Puja book, or maybe it was 1977, but I think it was 76. He just wrote a very poignant offering to Srila Prabhupada. This struck me by the sincerity and the clear expression of his absolute dedication to Srila Prabhupada. I don't even remember what he said now. I can't remember that much, but I just, at that point, early in my own Krishna consciousness, I was just struck by the realization, this is a person worth following. And I never really had very much of his association. Frankly, I had almost no association with him. But I used to see him always, and I always respected him from a distance. And you know, like we heard already, I mean, he was just such a dedicated Prabhupada man. This is another thing that we can say the same thing in different words, that he was so dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. And this Guru Nishtha is something that was instilled in me by someone who was very similar to him in many ways, and that was Gopala Krishna Goswami. They had a kind of a similar mood, both managerial types and very, dedicated Prabhupada men, very strong on this point of complete surrender unto the spiritual master. And he was so exemplary. We've heard this several times already now. Mangalarti, that's obvious. Even in the end days, I would just look at him and marvel, because he came to offer Mangalarti, usually to Radha Shyam Sundar, and he had to have a disciple hold his hand to offer the ghee lamp, because he wasn't able to hold it up. But he was still there at 4:30 in the morning. I noticed also that everywhere he went, he did not like to stay in people's homes, where he would almost certainly have had a much more comfortable stay, but he wanted to stay in Prabhupada's temples. And that struck me as just, he just radiated that kind of integrity. And very strict in his practice. He was also doing deity worship on top of everything else that he was doing. Exemplary in every way. There are very few ways that I can think that he wasn't a good example. I mean, they just can't find fault like that. So, tremendous respect I've always had for him, and also they say, palena parichiyate, you can judge by the fruit. I've noticed that his disciples, he also trained them very well. That's another similarity that he had with Gopala Krishna Goswami. I'm making this comparison because I had almost all of my Krishna consciousness was through 30-something, 40 years of association with Gopala Krishna Goswami. But both of them had the same. I mean, I just noticed that he was born in August. But he was such a great general, we can say, in Srila Prabhupada's army. And one of the things that struck me about his video here is that he mentioned that when the devotees are enthused, then they will distribute more books. And it just made me think of many letters that Srila Prabhupada wrote in answer to the question, how do we remain enthused? And Srila Prabhupada always emphasized, devotees will remain enthused if they very strictly follow all the regulative principles, every one of them, even the little ones. And that was Gopala Krishna Goswami. Just such a perfect example of complete surrender and lifelong commitment and very, very hard work for the spiritual master, and to take up an important responsibility to uphold his mission, to expand his mission. Just, 20 temples in Delhi alone. That says everything. And not just small preaching centers or houses. These are full-size temples, and half of them are built from scratch, from the devotion that he inspired in the city of Delhi. Great, great benefactor of the city of Delhi in particular, but of the whole of his area of responsibility, and for the whole world of ISKCON in the form of his example, which we said already. But he's going to be very missed, and I've actually been dreading this event for a long, long time. Everyone knew it was coming. Just to look at him, he was sharp as a tack mentally, but he could not hardly function physically without the help of disciples. He was not even able to, hardly could walk even. Just incredible dedication. And the obvious comparison would be to Jayapataka Goswami, another of the greatest generals that Prabhupada has ever had. And we're just it hurts us because to be bereft of that association is a great pain. Every time I had any encounter with him, he would just, of his own volition, despite his great, demands on his time and his very high position in our society, he would just come and greet me, an insignificant god brother. And how are you doing? Is everything okay? Is there anything we can do for you? He was a GBC in my zone. So I was just really just always consistently impressed by his very personal approach, very personal, and very loving, very kind, humble in his way, and just all around very, as he said, perfect adjective, endearing. So he has endeared himself. I just want to give one example, and then I'm looking forward to hearing from those who really know him better than we can, those who have surrendered their own lives to him. But I remember maybe, 10, 15, 20 years back, one of my godbrothers was in an almost fatal car accident in India, and his wife, both of them, I think, maybe they broke their necks or something, I don't know what, very, very injured. They were supine and, what do you call that, intraction for a couple of years, I think. Long, long time. And once they were released from the hospital, what are they going to do? Gopal Krishna Maharaj just put them up in the Delhi temple for a long, long time. And not only did he give them their own room and everything they needed he supplied, but he even gave them a whole staff of servants to take care of them. This is how kind he was, especially to his godbrothers. So that kind of thing is not easy to forget. And it just goes to show how incredible his character was, and how personal was his approach to Krishna consciousness. That's how he inspired people. His ironclad, lifelong dedication as a sold-out servant committed to expanding Srila Prabhupada's mission, coupled with this very warm, human approach to, endearing behavior in his personal dealings with others. Just an extraordinary personality. They don't come every day. But I do feel confident that even though we feel so much pain now, and those who were his disciples, I don't know what to say about that pain. It will hurt. It has to hurt. But at the same time, I personally feel very confident, but because he's trained his followers very well, and I can name them, but I won't, that things will carry on as he would carry on. This is the challenge that we all face when the spiritual master departs. It's actually a challenge for ourselves, because we have to step up and fill the responsibility that he was holding for us all. We have to do it now. So this is why this is the transcendental system. As we mentioned this morning, that the spiritual master has to leave. It happens in every generation like this. Part of the process of our own maturation in Krishna consciousness is to deal with this and to mature through it. So I offer my respectful obeisance to all of you who are his disciples especially, and especially to the lotus feet of Srila Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj Bhagavad Pada, great stalwart general in Srila Prabhupada's army, a life of exemplary devotion, a glorious death. I was thinking in the last several days, I was worried that maybe they should just somehow try to bring him to Vrindavan. But then today I thought, somebody with such intensity and dedication and commitment and accomplishment in Prabhupada's service, it doesn't really matter where you leave your body. It just doesn't matter. Because everything that he touched turned into Vaikuntha. Devraduna is now a holy place because of his presence there, because of his departure there. So very, very great personality. He will be sorely missed. And I don't know what else to say, but I will end here. All glories to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to all of you. Hare Krishna.
I just read a verse from the Bhagavatam that I was greeted with this morning. I was in San Luis Obispo early this morning, and when I woke up, Devavrata Prabhu, who was staying in the same house, came to me, and we were just, even upon rising, we were talking about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and he offered this verse. He said, his passing reminds me of this verse, and it's a verse about Bhishma Dev, which is spoken by Sutta Goswami in the first canto. Thereupon, that man who spoke on different subjects with thousands of meanings, and who fought on thousands of battlefields and protected thousands of men, stopped speaking, and, being completely freed from all bondage, withdrew his mind from everything else and fixed his wide open eyes upon the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who stood before him, four-handed, dressed in yellow garments that glittered and shined. And just you're alluding to the metaphor of the general, reminded me of that. So many talks, so many visits to so many battlefields and so many battles. Anyone who's managing knows that it means kung fu fighting 24 hours a day without exception. And everything that can go wrong will go wrong, but worse than you thought. And he dealt with all that and made it look easy. Now we'd like to hear from a few devotees. Unless you'd like to stay up all night, we won't have time for everyone, but if anybody feels inspired to speak and was hoping to, then please pass the microphone to the back. Achyuta has his hand up.
Vaisesika Prabhu said very nicely to me this morning, it's the end of an era in ISKCON with his passing. You know, I felt this way when Tamal Krishna Goswami left as well. It was as if maybe, half or three-quarters of ISKCON had left the movement suddenly. That's how important Gopal Krishna Maharaj was, and so respected personality, we'll miss him.
Hare Krishna. On this occasion, I am remembering His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj sitting in the same room. One devotee asked a question, Maharaj, we go to book distribution, and then a lot of people don't take the books. So how should we handle that? Maharaj gave a very striking answer, which at least I imbibed in my heart all the time. So Maharaj told that when you attempt to distribute a book to somebody, Krishna will already tick that you have already distributed a book. And if the other person takes the book, Krishna will also tick for them. But if they don't take that book, Krishna will not tick for them, but your tick mark is already there. So that gives a lot of relief. And when a lot of people say no to books, we think that, Krishna has already ticked for us. So that is one thing I was remembering. And another thing, one devotee asked about, Maharaj, what is the definition of humility? So Maharaj told the answer that humility is to be constantly directed, corrected, and advised constantly by some senior devotee. So thank you so much.
Please give the mic to Vrindavan.
I'd like to request Ananda Vrindavan Mataji to first speak. Okay. Hare Krishna Om Jnanati Mirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakhe Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I haven't come prepared, and I haven't had a chance to organize my thoughts, so I'll try to say a few words. First of all, deep gratitude with all humility, obeisances to His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu and His Grace Mukundat Prabhu for being present with us today on this very important occasion. The feeling is still sinking in until I saw a few pictures of Guru Maharaj this morning. I still couldn't believe that he's physically left us. Last night was very, very difficult to just hear the news. Many of his glories have already been spoken by the esteemed God brothers, so I wouldn't repeat or mention those again. But it just comes back to me again and again in a very strong way, especially on this day, that he's 100% Prabhupada man, and he's 100% ISKCON man. He's fully dedicated to Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON. He breathed Prabhupada, he lived Prabhupada, he executed Prabhupada, and he spoke Prabhupada to such an extent that once some devotees, when assembled near him, asked him, Maharaj, why don't you write some books? He said that if I write books, it will take some attention away from Prabhupada's books. So there's no need for me to write any books. Prabhupada's books has everything. It's only some of his disciples and some God brothers in recent times compiled some books about his glories, but he never endeavored to even write any book. Two very seemingly contrasting qualities in the material world, he perfectly synergized. One is extraordinary accomplishment by following his guru's instructions, sticking to it 100%. But while doing so, not feel oneself to be very great by doing those accomplishments, and being able to very genuinely and sincerely have personal connections with everybody whom he met. This is not just true of his God brothers, not just disciples, but practically everyone he met. And it's not just me, but I heard so many devotees, disciples, like we'd meet him, we had a conversation, we'd share something with him and seek some advice, and then maybe we'd see him again the following year or 2 years later, and he would pick the conversation from there. And I just don't know how anyone meeting thousands of devotees every day could do that, could manage to do that. I personally had many very encouraging and enlightening conversations with him. And whenever he gave a guidance, whenever he said something, it just worked. It just worked. We just had to follow it without doubt, not entertain any doubt in our minds. Just do what he has advised, and it will always work. It will always work personally for us, for our family. So on this day, the feeling is still sinking in, but the last thing I want to say is that I genuinely feel all these years we took it that Maharaj is going to be with us forever. I honestly never, although at the back of the mind this fear is there that looking at his physical health and condition, anything could happen, but in spirit I never really thought that he'll leave. He'll always be with us. But today I feel that it's time to step up. These many years I've taken my devotional service often in casual ways, but those times are done and I need to step up. I need to dedicate myself just like he did, do my best to carry on his legacy and to keep his spirit alive. His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. This is the day we had never expected. We always took it for granted that he'll be with us all the time. But we have to face this. And it is like, I don't know where to start from. It's been like 21 years with him. It was like amazing. Like I'm so unqualified for him to be a disciple, but he took it from day one, like as his own daughter. And whatever I was lack of, he never told. He just show it by his example or by senior disciples' example that I could learn, I could pick up. He never gave me any instructions. Whenever I would ask Guru Maharaj any instruction for me, no, you are doing good. Just continue whatever you are doing. Like he has come to our home for continuously from 2005 to 2019, 14 years. And when Brajaras Babun was a baby, the first time he came, and it continued over, like they were babies, they were like fighting, they were crying, but he never said anything. He was enjoying like anything, never complained about anything. Like we had such a small house, and he will come all the way from East Coast, staying in big mansions or big temples, and here, because in the temple we didn't have the facility, so he used to stay at home. But he was so accommodating and so merciful. Like I never knew how to serve a guru. I was not trained on that. So I will just take him as my own father or father-in-law. And he'll just accept whatever you give, whatever you you give, or whatever facilities you give. And if some, like after pandemic, he could not come over and he's saying, I'm missing your home. Like that much personal, I'm missing your Jagannath, he'll say that. And I was always taking it for granted, just serving him as a family member. And in 2018, I clearly remember when Vaisesika Prabhu comes and sees him and his deities at our home, Prabhuji says that, oh, this is Vaikuntha, everybody is here, all the avatars, all his salagram shilas are here. I said, I never realized this in these years. I was just serving them casually, making offerings or garlands, whatever. But when Prabhu told that this is Vaikuntha, I could realize how fortunate I am every time Guru Maharaj staying and, blessing us unconditionally, even though we didn't do much for him. And that's my personal thing. And during every month he has a theme for his quotes of the day. In December month, he will have whole month from December 1st to 31st. It's about book distribution. And he wrote one time, like I normally share with Kameshwari Mataji also those quotes before we go out on book distribution. And a couple of them what still stuck to my mind is, he says, if you want to fight with your false ego, then you should go on the street book distribution. Then only you can conquer over your false ego. And he is always so merciful, as Prabhu, you both said, and Vrindavan Prabhu said that he is so kind to everybody, whether it's disciples, God brothers, or not disciples, anybody. Even to the animals. Like when he will go on the walk in the park near our home, he'll just chant to the ducks there. Yeah. He'll chant to the ducks, and then he's so much to an ant also. He will be careful that it should go on the right track or it should not be. Like he'll be very careful everywhere. And one time, last couple of years back, we did his Vyasa Puja ceremony in our front yard, which has bushes, and we put his big frame of picture attaching to a bush so that it will stay there. And we put his garland. And when we were taking out, after the ceremony, taking out the picture, the garland was not coming, even though we didn't tie it to the tree. It was stuck there. We could not, Prabhu tried so much to remove it. Then he could realize Guru Maharaj is giving back to the bush who was supporting, giving him support. That kind of reciprocation he does. So he has touched so many hearts, millions of hearts, and he has given mercy. Like he's so merciful to anybody. Like he's considered as Asutosh of ISKCON, Lord Shiva of ISKCON, because he just pours his mercy and blessings to anybody. And I'm really, really feeling fortunate to be in his association, and we will really miss him all the time. But I could say that yesterday I was feeling really down completely. I don't know what to be done. But today morning when I got up, I thought this separation is giving me actually energy. That, I have to continue his mission and his legacy and what he has left for us. And that would give him the pleasure, nothing else. I cannot just stick to this thing. I have to go on. And that helps a lot. So I would like to thank everybody, especially Nirkula Mataji, supported whole morning today, even though she's in Florida, and Prabhu also, and Mukundat Prabhu, so nice class, and all of your association is giving the solace, definitely, and all the devotees here in ISV, it's our family, So this is our family, and we're really thankful for each and everything we have got here, and we have received from all of you. All the love and care and attention. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I feel for a loss of words after hearing all of the other devotees speak. But I was really grateful to be speaking to Ananda Mataji earlier about just very few of the own interactions I've had with Maharaj. When I was younger, my best friends and their parents were disciples of Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj in Toronto. And he would stay in Prabhupada's headquarters in Toronto. And just like you had mentioned, Maharaj would always wake up for Mangalarti, and sometimes my mom would drag me and make me go, and I wouldn't want to go, but Maharaj would be there in the mornings. And I think one thing that was so special for me at a young age that I noticed was he would stay up so late, like till midnight, just to talk to his disciples. And, they'd make the kids sit outside while all the parents and adults are in the room talking to Maharaj. And we would just be bored out of our minds. Sometimes we'd play tag. Sometimes we'd fall asleep. But every year when he used to visit, we'd wait. Because after that midnight talk, he'd call us in, or he'd have like these big laddus for us, bigger than our hands, and that was the best memory. And when I was younger, it was just, another Swami that came to our temple. I didn't understand how great he was. Even a few years ago, I think it was 6 or 7 years ago, when Maharaj came to ISV, he was doing some programs in Sacramento. And Hansapriya Mataji was like, "Do you want to come with me? You can stay the night." And I was thinking, like, oh, vacation, like I get to be away from my mom, like this is amazing. So I went with her, and I didn't realize, but when I went there, Maharaj, I still remember his smile and how his presence itself was so strong. And I remember, like, I couldn't sit in lectures back then. So I told Hansapriya Mataji, like, I'm getting bored, like, what should I do? And she said, go bring the harmonium and play. So I remember I brought the harmonium and I was playing, and maybe I was even playing wrong. I don't think I was playing the right notes either. But at the end, he said, right before he was leaving the program, he said something to me, and I couldn't hear what he had said, but his personal servant at the time said, just repeated what Maharaj had said, and he said that Maharaj said, you played very nice, like, good job. And I was back then, you know, a little kid, I was like, I do this all the time. Like, I practice at home, like, it's nothing big. But years later, now that this morning when I had woken up, I was sitting in front of my Prabhupada Didi, and I was just writing in my journal about all the experiences, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I was such a fool. Like, there was such a great personality right in front of me, and I couldn't even realize it. And something I do a lot is think about the future, whether it's my own future or just the future of my friends and the community that we're all in. And when I was telling my friend this morning, like, it scares me to see that each year someone very close to our community leaves. But I realize it's been so, so touching to see all of the God siblings of Maharaj. Thank you. It's been really touching to see all of Maharaj's disciples just stand there for one another and be there. And all the support you've given one another truly shows me how much I need to step up for my own God siblings and also for this movement. And I have some very close friends who are Maharaj's disciples, and I know they're really young and they have a lot of life ahead of them, but seeing their attitude during this time and seeing how they have been saying, everything I've done up till now is the empowerment of my Guru Maharaj, and everything in the future will also be. So I'm remembering Ranchor, who's a very dear friend for those of us who attend Youth Jam. You may know him, and a lot of other friends as well, and disciples. So this is just a small thought that I had, and I'm very grateful to this community, and I'm very grateful to Maharaj for everything that he's given and done for this movement. I'm only able to see a small particle of it, but I pray that together we may be able to see a lot more, and we may be able to follow in the path and footsteps that he has. Thank you. You're insignificant, sir.
It just reminded me that when Ranchor was on the youth yatra, and then we asked for volunteers to organize the book distribution, and he volunteered because he's a disciple of Gopal Krishna. But after that, he joined our BBT team, and he's doing fantastic work with statistics and everything like that. And I just noticed that's the effect when you have a guru that's so focused on service in the right way, then it passes down to the next generation. Hare Krishna. Malini.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We had a few interactions with His Holiness Gopala Krishna Maharaj when he came here to ISV, and I just wanted to share and remember for my own purification. So initially during the Bhaktivinoda Thakur marathon, one of the marathons, you were not here in town when His Holiness Gopala Krishna Maharaj came here. So Maharaj came and he gave the class, and he told, let's raise funds for Bhagavad Gita. And then he gave a very nice talk, and after that, when we are asking how many cases of Bhagavad Gita, then he would call up devotees' names. How many are you sponsoring? Sponsored. And after that was done, he asked me, how many would have Vaisesika Prabhu done? So he wants to beat whatever was done before. So that spirit of trying to surpass all the previous ones, like it stuck to me so much that it was very, very inspiring. And the other year, when the Bhadra Purnima marathon came, we requested a video from Maharaj, and immediately he agreed. And that video recording is there as well. We can share with the devotees. But he was totally for it, for the Bhadra Purnima marathon, and he promoted everywhere. And one last thing I remember was, actually last but one thing, we asked Maharaj once, Maharaj, how do you do so many hundreds of Bhagavad Gitas? How is it possible? Delhi is very popular and you get so many things. And he just made it very casual, oh, it's not so much. We have so many factories and we have so many workers, we can just distribute in mass. But here you're doing the hand-to-hand distribution. It's very difficult, but you're doing such a nice service. Even though it is in millions and we are just doing in thousands, he just made it seem that we are doing better. That was so nice to hear that from Maharaj. And one last thing was, when the World Sankirtan newsletter comes, then Delhi was the top in all the book distribution. And one day you asked Maharaj, can we have a request for you? And then Maharaj said, yes. And then you asked, we request your blessings so that we can beat Delhi. And maybe Maharaj thought for a little bit, but then he just gave a blessing. Yes, you can beat Delhi. That was so nice because he didn't think that it was his personal thing and only Delhi can be top, but he was ready to give blessings so that Prabhupada's mission of distributing books could flourish everywhere in the world. So that was very inspiring. I was just remembering all those today, and we'll miss him, especially here at ISV, because each time he comes, he asks for a fundraiser for books. So we'll dearly miss Maharaj. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I learned that trick from Mukharavinda, by the way, because he asked Suvas after Rath Yatra the year before. Anyway, I won't go into the details. Please.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Prabhupadasya Sahityamya Prakashe Vitriyecha Pracharam Kritvan Sadhu Bhagavad Padaya Te Namah. It is said that when a disciple is ready, the Guru appears. I cannot say for myself, but I started chanting Mahamantra for 6 months, and Guru Maharaj appeared in my life. We used to come to ISV just like any other karmi comes. Once a month while going, we used to come to ISV, have prasadam, and on Janmashtami we used to go to Berkeley Temple. So we bought a home in 2012, we moved to Dublin, and the ISV temple was still at Bascom. It was kind of little far away from our home, so we started going to twice a month we started going to Berkeley Temple, because Vijay Damodar Prabhu likes to dance and kirtan. So we used to go there, and really nice deities there. So after 6 months of chanting, we made friends because we used to go to Berkeley Temple, and one of the Mataji was getting initiated. So I was trying to call her to invite her to our home, because Hari Sankirtan Prabhu used to host a program every other month. They used to have 56 bhogas, and every other month they used to have Bhakti Vriksha kind of thing. I had no clue what is Bhakti Vriksha, what is Swami, what is Maharaj, what is Prabhu. I had no clue at all. No, not at all. Nobody trained us. We were really, I don't know. I can never say that Guru Maharaj is so merciful. He gave me place at his lotus feet. So I chanted for 6 months, and I'm trying to, we spoke to Hari Sankirtan Prabhu that we would like to host a program at our home, not knowing what is Bhakti Vriksha. And he said, yes, we will have. So I am calling and asking one of the devotee at Berkeley to please come, and it was 4th of July, please come and to attend our program at our home. And she in response says that, yes, I'll come, but you have to come for my initiation. I got really excited because I had never known what kind of initiation happens at ISKCON. There's a history because in the beginning my father was inspired by Srila Prabhupada books. He had lots of Srila Prabhupada books. He got the books sometime in the mid-90s, but he never read. I was the one who read after a couple of years. There was a situation in the family that Krishna as a super soul prompted me to go open the cupboard and take the book and read it. So I read the book. I have been reading Srila Prabhupada books since then. I read that book cover to cover in 1 week. I could not understand, but one thing I could understand, that I should read this book every day. So I used to read at least one verse. Not understanding because there was no teacher to teach me, no preacher, no counselor, nothing. I got married, I came to US. And this was 2012. I went back in the past. So Guru Maharaj, so I was inviting her and she invited me. I said, I got really excited. I would like to come and attend the initiation. So this is Thursday evening, and she sends me email with my Guru Maharaj's picture and little details. Because I had I was reading Srila Prabhupada books without any training. I also went through Sri Ravi Shankar Art of Living course. Almost went to a point where he wanted me to be a teacher. I somehow refused. Maybe it was not destined, so that's the reason I refused. And then we used to come to temple here at ISV, Berkeley, kind of not getting deep into it. Because in India, it's a conception that if you take a bhakti, then you might have to leave everything. That's the conception that we have. Bhakti means that you will be kind of renunciant, or you will go to Himalaya or something like that. So I had also had that kind of feeling. So I was just trying not to get into bhakti. So coming and having prasadam was okay once in a while. So I invited this Mataji. This Mataji sent me that flyer. In between Ravi Shankar and ISKCON, Amma happened from Kerala. Amritapuri, Amma happened. So we used to go, one of my friend invited, we used to go, and she used to also allow the disciples have onion garlic and egg. And I already stopped eating onion garlic in 2006. Because both the time in 2004 and 2006, when I was carrying Akshar Nitai and Aname, I could not withstand the smell of onion garlic. So I could not have any onion garlic during those times. And so, where did I? So in between Amma happened, and when I used to go to her ashram, I used to think, I'm not eating onion garlic. And I was having this question, why have I stopped eating when I'm going to a place where she's allowing everybody to eat onion garlic and also eggs? So I was having this constant question. And so I'll go fast forward. So Hari Sankirtan Prabhu moves in 2012 in the Bay Area. He buys a home and bought a home in Pleasanton, and he's one of the Janmashtami we are always late while going home, And he says, why don't you come for our Bhakti Vrishya? So we go, first month we miss, the second month we go. And then I'm thinking, he is hosting, and it was 56 bhoga. So then I could understand. So I left onion, garlic, and now Krishna is blessing me with 56 bhoga. So Krishna takes you, like, asks you to leave something, and he will give you in abundance. I could not have thought about it, that somebody can prepare 56 bhoga also. So then this thing happened, and then this Mataji invited. So Amma was there, this onion garlic thing was there. And so I went for her initiation. And Amma also initiated me. Before that, in India also, I was initiated by some Chaturvedi who was given President's Award for Sanskrit. So second time I was already initiated. So I was thinking that Amma initiated me, she gave me Krishna mantra. I don't like this place. Why am I here? I have to bring my food. Everything is different. The only thing which was keeping us there was Amma, because she was very loving. And I had this question. And then this Mataji invites, and I look at my Guru Maharaj's write-up, and I picture, and something happens. I cannot stop my tears. I could sense that he is the one I was looking for, because I was not at peace going to Amma or Art of Living, anything. And then before, on the day of initiation, the day I go to Berkeley Temple, I knew Vijay Damodar Prabhu is always late. So I went with Radhika Prema Mataji, because I found out that she will be initiated, so definitely she will be on time. So I said, you stay, you come with kids. I drove to her home, and I went along with them. And I haven't even seen my Guru Maharaj yet. I just read in the flyer. He is resting in the room at Berkeley Temple around 4:30 or 4:45 when they have the Tulsi Puja. I am there, I am in the temple hall, the Tulsi Puja is taking place. My tears are uncontrollable. In the morning itself, the one day before itself, when I read about him, I knew he was the one, my heart, I was looking for, and he is the one. And I had no idea what is this shelter, what is this initiation. I started asking questions. What is the next step? I have been chanting for 6 months, what do we do next? So I was told, then you have to take shelter. I said, who is the spiritual master? I didn't even know we have so many swamis or gurus in ISKCON. No idea at all. And I said, he is the one, because I can feel the connection. And I went and I said, I need to have shelter. So he looks at me, Guru Maharaj talks to me, asks about me, what do I do, how does my family do, how am I connected? And then all the Berkeley Temple, the president and all, everybody started telling us this family does lots of seva and all. So they were already ready for preparing us for initiation. There was so much recommendation was given about us. So Guru Maharaj, he didn't say, he talked to me, he gave me a lot of time. And the first meeting. And then he says, come tomorrow to ISV. And I knew I will again go late. So this happens. Whenever it's coming, we come, wherever we have to go, we go late. And while leaving also, we are late. So on my Guru Maharaj's face, right on his face, because I didn't want to lie. I had no idea what kind of saint he was, but I knew he's a sadhu. And I'm a very upfront person. I speak right on the front, on his face. So I said, Guru Maharaj, and I was calling him Prabhu. I didn't even know I should be calling him Maharaj or something. So I was calling him. He was so compassionate, and Guru Maharaj was so tolerant. He tolerated my calling him Prabhu, and he said, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I come, and Guru Maharaj is giving lecture here. I was fasting on that day, because at Amma's place they said that if you they had something that you fast for some days. So I used to fast, and Guru Maharaj was wearing beautiful garland. I was sitting on 3rd or 4th row, and in my heart the desire came that, can I get that? In my mind I'm saying, if I can get that beautiful garland. And after Guru Maharaj gives the lecture and there's a time for darshan, people are lined up. I knew Ananda Mataji and Hansapriya Mataji, because whenever we used to come to the temple, they were there. So then I was told to have darshan of Guru Maharaj. Sorry, I'm little elaborate. I'm not able to summarize at this point of time because I don't deserve to be Guru Maharaj's disciple, but he has given me so much of a love. It is said that love is in details. It can happen in any kind of relationship between a spiritual father or a daughter, between a beloved, a mother or a son, or a mother or a daughter. He was such a loving father. I have never cried. The day my father left his body in 2022, he called me. Almost for 15 minutes he was on phone asking what happened, and then he said, he went to Krishna. He went to Krishna. So he was so compassionate. Last year when I went, I had the opportunity to cook in his kitchen, and every 4 o'clock every day afternoon he has GBC meetings and all, and we were preparing food, and that day he went for the meeting at 3:30. He didn't eat his lunch. And all the disciples, his main cooks and other servants, they were telling me, you have the food. I said, Prabhu, I eat the food all the time. This is the first time I'm having the opportunity that I can serve my Guru Maharaj first and then I can eat. I said, I'll be around, let him finish with his meeting. He said, it will last for almost 3 hours. So Guru Maharaj is into the meeting. I said, I'll chant my rounds. I went and chanted my rounds in the temple. And then around 6:30, 6:40, I come back. And he's still in the meeting. And then one of the servants says that he's out, he will take a 15-minute rest. In the meantime, we were heating up the food. So he takes the prasadam. He was already told that I was there in the kitchen. So Guru Maharaj, after taking prasadam, he called me and then he asked me, how will you go home? It was almost 7:30. So this is the detail he used to care about each and every insignificant person like me. He gives so much of love that I am a very introvert kind of person. He made me speak up. Now I am talking to so many people, not only preaching, I'm talking to so many, like my God brothers, and I don't know, I never wanted to talk. But he hit me on the place where I was like, really, I didn't want to do this.
I think like birds at the end of the day, when they come to the end, we may have to stop for now. Yes. Please. Last one.
Last one. Thanks, Maharaj. Thanks for giving me opportunity. Maharaj, I will keep it very short. I'm not a good speaker, but today I wanted to talk something because I wanted to thank Maharaj, and the entire family want to thank him for taking us into shelter, and thanks for entire ISV community for supporting us, and we are very thankful. I can't speak much. I can only tell one thing which always strikes with me. Whenever I go to Maharaj, my brain goes blank. I have no words to speak to him. It always happens, and everybody asks why you didn't talk. I usually come with a laundry list to speak with him, but I never spoke anything with him. So last time when I went, I was again totally blank. He took time to make me to speak something which I can speak, which I can never forget, and I was very thankful for that. And thank you very much, Maharaj.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Lakshmi Shringadev, if you so desire, please let us take the example of His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj, follow in his footsteps, and make a success of this lifetime by vigorously, unceasingly spreading the Sankirtan movement and following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, even the little ones. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj, for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Do you want to say anything?
Hare Krishna. Anything.
Hare Krishna.
Just a few little things, but when I would go to New Delhi, Gopal Krishna Maharaj would always give me his car and drive it. He's like, here I am just flying into India, and he just goes, oh, you take my car, you take my driver, we're going down. And like you're saying, very, very intimate, very compassionate. And yeah, thank you very much. It's like 11:30, I just couldn't stop listening.
Jai. Thank you, Maharaj. Great to see you. I saw the RTS there, but I didn't want to disturb you. Hare Krishna. Our obeisances.
Thank you all.
Jai.
Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai.